It began on a Thursday. The sky was soaked with gray, and the old English town of Windale simmered under an endless drizzle. Daniel, a 32-year-old delivery man, had just finished his shift and was cycling home through the narrow, cobbled alleys. As he passed the crumbling wall of the long-abandoned Windale Theater, he saw her. A girl, barefoot, soaked, her white dress clinging to her thin frame, stood perfectly still in the rain. Her long hair obscured most of her face, but he could tell she was staring at him. Her presence was unnerving, like a glitch in reality. When he blinked, she was gone. He thought perhaps he was tired, his mind playing tricks. But it wouldn't be the last time he saw her. That night, Daniel tossed and turned in his small apartment. Each time he closed his eyes, he saw her pale face framed in wet strands of hair, her eyes dark and endless. The sound of rain tapping against his window mimicked whispers. He awoke at 2:14 a.m. to find his balcony door wide open, though he swore he had locked it. Outside, under the flickering street lamp, stood the girl again, still, watching. As he scrambled to the window, she vanished again. The town felt off, like it had shifted slightly to make room for something that didn't belong. 2 days later, Daniel learned that a man had been found dead near the theater wall. Heart failure, they said, but Daniel had seen the body. Eyes wide open, mouth twisted in a silent scream. The girl was there, someone told him. A child who had witnessed it described her in perfect detail. Wet hair, white dress, barefoot in the rain. Daniel's skin prickled. He didn't believe in ghosts. Until now. Daniel began to avoid his usual routes, taking longer, more crowded roads to get home. But the girl found him. He saw her outside the bakery, standing behind a bus stop, even reflected in a puddle where she shouldn't have been, always drenched, always watching. He started asking around. No one knew who she was, but an old woman whispered, "You saw the rain girl? Some debts are paid in storm." At the town library, Daniel found a news clipping from 1996. Young girl found drowned in street flood. Body never recovered. Her name was Mary Felton, 13 years old. The photo in the archive stopped his breath. It was her. The same eyes, same white dress. A local flood had swept her away. Some said she wasn't dead, just trapped. Daniel dug deeper and found a diary left by a priest who once served the nearby parish. The last entry read, "She comes with the rain. Vengeance is patient." Father Robbins was retired but alive, living alone near the edge of Windale Forest. Daniel visited him carrying the diary. The priest trembled when he saw Mary's name. "We failed her," he whispered. "She was crying for help, but no one listened. Her spirit clings to the rain, searching for justice. But her justice is blind. She takes anyone who looks. You shouldn't have seen her." Daniel asked how to stop it. The priest only said, "Pray she forgets you." Each night, Daniel's dreams pulled him into water. He would wake, gasping, lungs heavy. He saw her under the waves, her arms reaching, her mouth wide, but no scream coming out, just bubbles. His bedsheets were often damp when he awoke. He taped his doors shut, unplugged every faucet, avoided puddles. But still, she came. The rain never stopped now. Weeks passed and the sun felt like a rumor. Others started disappearing. A fruit seller vanished on Westmore Lane. A nurse walking home from the hospital left only a soaked shoe behind. Each case had witnesses claiming to see a soaked girl nearby. The authorities blamed rising crime, but the people knew. The rain girl was claiming more. A local occultist told Daniel, "She needs a voice, not vengeance. Someone must hear her scream." One evening, Daniel found a soaked photograph slipped under his door. It showed Mary, laughing with another girl. On the back, scrawled handwriting, "I wasn't alone." That night, the rain came harder than ever, flooding whole neighborhoods. Daniel's power went out, and in the dark, He heard footsteps in the water pooling inside his home. When he lit a candle, it reflected two girls, both wet, both silent. The new face haunted him now. He returned to the library, breaking into restricted records. He found a case of another missing girl from the same day as Mary, Alice Merton. She had disappeared, but no one searched. Her parents were undocumented and afraid to speak. Daniel realized the ghost was not just Mary. It was a storm of forgotten girls, swept away and now returning. He contacted a journalist, Claire Whitmore, and told her everything. At first, she laughed, but after seeing Daniel's soaked walls and flickering lights, she agreed to dig deeper. Together, they gathered interviews, proof of negligence, lost cases, hidden files. Every person they interviewed reported rain on the day their loved one vanished. Claire published the story online, The Forgotten Daughters of Windale. Daniel fell sick. Fever, tremors, hallucinations. He spoke in voices not his own. The doctor said it was neurological trauma. Claire said it was Mary. "She's trying to live through you," she whispered. That night, Daniel wrote dozens of pages in a strange dialect. A linguist identified it as Cornish, Mary's ancestral tongue. She was speaking through him now. The story went viral. Thousands gathered for a candlelight march in the rain. People carried signs with the names of missing children. A group of women chanted prayers for the dead. Then, from the crowd, a soaked little girl walked to the stage. Cameras captured her. She said only, "You heard me now." Then she turned to water and vanished. The next morning, for the first time in months, the sun rose. The air was warm, clean. Daniel awoke dry, rested. He looked at the balcony, no footprints. Claire called him, crying, "I think it's over." But Daniel wasn't sure. He still heard a faint dripping, like a leaky pipe in the back of his mind. Months passed. Life returned to normal. Daniel began dating Claire. He returned to delivery work. But one cloudy afternoon, a customer canceled an order. He took a shortcut through the alley. There, at the old theater wall, she stood, wet, staring. Her eyes said, "You heard me, but not all of me." Daniel tore his home apart and found an old box beneath the floorboards. Inside was a journal belonging to Alice. She wrote of abuse, neglect, of the night she and Mary ran into the storm to escape. They died together, holding hands, calling for help. No one came. Daniel wept for hours, holding the pages. He printed Alice's journal, shared it everywhere. A memorial was held. Names were painted on walls, chanted in churches, and then another downpour. But this time, people gathered and lit candles. They stood in the water and sang. A soaked figure appeared once more, this time smiling, turning to light before vanishing in mist. No one has vanished since. The town built a statue near Windale Square of two girls holding hands titled, "Heard at Last." The rain returns, but now it's just rain. And yet some say if you walk the alleys alone, you may hear distant laughter in the storm. Not vengeful, just remembered. One year later, Daniel made a delivery to a woman in Cranford. She had a daughter, wet hair, pale skin. The girl stared at him and smiled. "Do you still ride when it rains?" she asked. He froze. Her eyes matched Mary's, but she turned away laughing with her mother. Perhaps it was just coincidence, perhaps not. Daniel wrote down the full story, every word. He titled it The Girl in the Rain and left it with Claire. "If she ever comes back," he said, "make them listen faster this time." Then he disappeared, last seen cycling under a drizzle that no one else noticed. Some say he joined the rain, others say he simply went where he was needed next. Either way, when the rain falls too softly to hear, some still whisper her name, Mary.